And we're back. This is our last cast reunion of the night. We've already made it through 3, and we might as well go back to the very beginning of season 47, which was a regional premiere of Beautiful, the Carole King musical. It played to audiences throughout the end of August. We had an amazing cast, fantastic production staff, so I'm really excited to bring some of them back tonight. If you haven't donated yet, Raise the Region 2024 is going on right now, all the way till midnight tomorrow, Thursday, March 14th. So you have until then to donate. Minimum donation is $25. Maximum donations up to you. So, I mean, listen, wherever you want to go. Spencer is down there shaking his head like, go on, write that big check. Oh, wait. Oh, he's so excited to come out here. All right. We have 4 cast members, our 4 leads from Beautiful, as well as our stage manager extraordinaire, Paige. Hi, Paige. You're back.
Hello.
You didn't know I was bringing you out first, did you?
I didn't.
Got to keep the people on their toes. That's what they want. They want natural reactions. If you saw Beautiful, go ahead and leave a comment for these lovely people. Tell them your favorite song that you saw, your favorite Carole King ballad that was sung. Give them some love. Paige, what was it like? This was your very first, I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit, your very first stage managing experience.
It was.
Give, for everyone out there who's thinking about maybe a backstage might be for me, give me a little, like, what was it like?
It really was an awesome experience. I have done theater for a very long time, but was never involved in any other aspects of it. And I assisted with Cabaret last season, which was a great show to assist on because there was a lot happening. There was a lot of tech things happening, a lot of staging happening there. And that was the same for Beautiful. We had a lot going on. Those big, beautiful lighted panels that Phil made. And we had a lot of costume changes and a lot of set changes. And it was a lot to manage, but it was one of those challenges that, like, once you're out of it, like, wow, I did that. Like, there were some moments that, like, Phil would message and be like, we need Tim's mics fixed right now. Oh, just kidding. Never mind. It's all good. I'm like, it's always good. Tim. I already fixed it.
It's always Tim. It's always his mic, or it's always a costume change, or a hoof that needs readjusted, or an ear that's floppy. It's fine. Talk to me a little bit about. You glanced over costumes, but I don't think people fully realize the amount of costumes that were in this particular show.
Yes.
Because it was astronomical.
It was insane. And Ellen, our director, and Katie, who is in the show, both worked really, really hard pulling costumes. Andre also. It was a whole big team effort on costumes. And because this was a very specific period in time, these were people's lives. So that's different than a lot of other shows where you can have freedom to do with it what you want. But this, you had to stick with what was true to the time period. And it wasn't just like, oh, this is a year, we have to make it look like the 60s. Like, we were going through a whole timeline. So you had to see that happen. And that requires a lot of costume.
And not only like costumes, but backstage management in terms of quick changes and avoiding set pieces that cost a lot of money, like the grand piano. Like, there was a lot for you to manage as the first time out. So, I mean, kudos to you for doing an amazing job.
I have nightmares about it. Like, I have foam everywhere.
I have nightmares about that piano, and then the other piano
that didn't stop moving the whole show.
Everyone headaches and massive. Just Hannah Ranke is rolling her eyes so hard backstage. It's great. All right, so let's bring them out. You love them as the writing team of Carole King and Jerry Goffin. Hi, Destiny and Spencer.
Hi.
But you loved almost as much Hannah Ranke and Tim. Look at the 4 of you. Ugh. Could we get
almost as much?
Oh, there he goes. Tim was the one that picked it up.
More, personally.
Sorry, my mic's broken, Seth.
It's always Tim. So Destiny, Spencer, Hannah, Tim, thanks for joining us. Hannah,
of course.
You're coming from college, Baldwin Wallace. Are you live from?
I am coming from Ohio right now. Back and forth during the show.
And Spencer, you're coming from?
St. Vincent College. It's like 45 minutes from Pittsburgh, but yeah.
All over. And Destiny, you're on spring break from?
Bloomsburg University.
So my question is, Tim, how did it feel to be loved and play like as a fellow whatever generation we are? Just watching you with the rest of the leads, I was like, Tim looks like he graduated the same year as Spencer, and like, how is this fair? Was my first question.
We had one of our first music rehearsals that was just the leads. We were all hanging out at Brett's house in his music room, and he takes Spencer and Destiny off to work on some stuff, and me and Hannah go off to like go over some lines. And she looks at me and goes, "I hope you don't feel weird that you're so much older than us." And I was just like, "Excuse
I
me."
didn't mean it like that. No, I didn't mean it like that.
Way to go, Hannah. Way
I
just
mean,
to get
I'm
it.
not that much older.
Way to
come
get
on.
it right. And you're not.
You
You're not.
aged me like 15 years with that question, just so you know.
Oh my gosh. I just meant
Very
I hope
true.
you like don't find us like annoying high school type
Not until then.
children. Thanks.
It was at that moment he realized he made a horrible, horrible mistake.
What am I doing?
All right. So for the four of you, you all had to embody not only real people, but very, very public, real singers who people knew their voices and people knew how they spoke and people knew how they presented themselves in public. What was that like? Carol. Wow. Destiny, we'll start right with you. And then we'll kind of go down Spencer, Hannah, Tim.
It was definitely hard because you get so used to singing a certain way,
Mhm.
then you realize, oh, these are actual people that I have to, mimic or kind of seem similar to. So it was definitely a learning curve, but it was fun though, challenging and fun.
Yeah, good. Spencer?
Yeah, with specifically the singing part, we had to like pull back because we couldn't really go into all the technique that like we've learned like with school in our previous productions. We had to almost just like strip it all. And then with the characters, it was really hard. Like I listened to a lot of interviews, not specifically of Jerry, but of everyone talking about each other and their relationships with each other. So that was really fun.
Nice. Hannah?
I think I was lucky in that my character is not necessarily known as like being a singer. So I got to have a little bit fun with it and get to show off her character because a lot of people didn't really know a lot about Cynthia and Barry. So it was just kind of fun bringing that sassy and confident character to the stage and letting everyone know how wonderful she really is.
Absolutely.
She is wonderful.
You're like I was of all the people who have portrayed real people on CTL stage. Every time I see like a Cynthia Weil thing, I'll go to like share it to you and be like, "Hey, she was just blah blah blah," or they were just, and you've already shared it and then tagged everyone and been like. So I feel like you have notifications turned on, especially for Barry and Cynthia, of like, "Hey, this happened," and I'm like, "Well,
to this day,
Hannah's already beat me." Her Google alerts are going off. Yeah, Tim.
Sorry.
Yeah, similar to Hannah, like people didn't really necessarily know the people that we were portraying, but they know the work. So I know, kind of like Spencer, Hannah and I would send interviews with Barry and Cynthia back and forth to each other just so we could kind of get their dynamic and kind of learn how they talk and kind of, their views on things and their thought processes and writing different songs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I think it's a really cool not only way for you to work your way into the character, but also to work your way into the relationship. Because I think for both pairs, you're not just playing Carol King, you're playing Carol and Jerry. And like you're not just playing Barry Mann, you're playing Cynthia and Barry. Like there's not only a character that you're taking on, but then there's this dynamic of the duo that was so recognizable and important that you also had that weight too. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It's like I was there. So very easy question. We'll go reverse order. We'll start with Barry. What was your favorite song to sing? Because the show is filled with like hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. And Paige, I don't know how you didn't get songs stuck in your head constantly because they just are that kind of earwormy genre song.
But now I
Like-
use it as like trivia. Something will come on, and
Ooh.
I'm like, anybody know who wrote this song? Anybody know? Because I know.
Do you know who originally sang the song? I do. Nice, Paige. That's a great characteristic.
You know.
Tim.
I think by the end of it, my favorite one to perform was "We Gotta Get Out of This Place," which was sort of like a rock guitar solo I got to do in Act 2. And that's just the ones I performed. My favorite thing was just lip syncing to On Broadway when the Drifters were performing and we were doing a costume change.
Ah,
Very
there you
dramatic.
go. That's a fun backstage tidbit. Hannah.
I think I liked it was like a combination of both Happy Days Are Here Again. Sorry. Happy Days Are Here Again, which was my like quick little solo fun number, and then the duet that Tim and I had because it was a nice little like break of everything,
Mhm.
and it was such a beautiful song to sing every night. So it was nice to be able to perform that one for sure.
Yeah, and you guys sounded beautiful on it. I mean, it was really. I mean, my favorite one. Sorry, Spencer Destiny. We'll get to you. But I mean, the quartet at the end with Steve.
Oh yeah.
It was like, come
good
on.
one.
I felt like the first night I watched the run through. It's like I still have it filmed because I was like, what is happening right now? Like this is just beautiful. So
Yeah, that one really hit on our closing performance.
of course it's going to, especially because you've known Steve since high school, right, Tim?
Oh
No.
no. I mean I've known Steve for like 10 years at this point, but
Yeah. So I mean, there's and then like the connections you've already made with your castmates too. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's gonna hit. Yeah, that's great. Spencer.
Oh yeah, I was really jealous of that that quartet because that was like right after I leave, like so I was always so jealous I had to just watch them. But I loved singing "Taking Care of My Baby" because how fun it was. But I really liked "Pleasant Valley Sunday" because it was one of the only songs in the show that wasn't presented to the audience as "Here, I wrote this song. Let me
Mhm.
sing it for you." It was just straight from the character. So I really liked that because it was way more of an acting song than anything else. So
Yeah, absolutely. Destiny.
I feel like I loved everything. I loved everything. The stuff that I sang and the stuff that other people sang, and I just loved it. But I think the one that sticks with me is "Natural Woman." I just like start singing it randomly, and I'm like, oh, so weird that
She comes back to you. She's like, I feel like. What for anyone, for all five of you, was there anything particularly, we've kind of talked about challenging, was there anything like easy? Like you're like, oh, I got that. Like was it like Cynthia's sass, or was it like the guitar playing, Tim, like you mentioned that? Like was there anything that you like during the process you were like, okay, but I have that in my toolbox, like I can pull that out and I can do that? Or was it all just kind of like it was all really kind of challenging? Because it's a challenging show. I think a lot of people are producing this show right now because it's brand new. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of meat to it, acting wise and singing wise. I mean, the four of you sang pretty much all night. So anything come easy? No, you're all like, it was incredibly hard.
I mean I had a leather jacket, so that was cool. I had that already in the closet right behind me. But I did the only thing, like I guess the accent kind of, because I did Newsies, but I really like
Gotcha.
got into the accent for that because I watched 3 hours straight of people from Brooklyn. And that was like I would watch that, and then I would say like coffee costs a quarter on the corner to get myself into the New York accent, and then I would just kind of just stick with it.
So it was immersion therapy, like like you just immersed yourself in 3 hours of like. a
Oh
YouTube
yeah,
video.
it was like 11 at night when I started. Like it was bad. I don't know why I did that.
College kids. Destiny.
I don't know.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
okay.
I just remember being like, "Oh, no, this has to be perfect. I have to get these 15 costume changes done perfectly," and just the singing, the act. But looking back at it, I was like, that went well, really well.
Nailed it. So
Yes.
pretty much you're like nailed it, crushed it. Okay, great.
Yes.
Tim and Hannah, anything that you were like, this will be fun to do because I know I got this in the bag?
Oh,
Go ahead.
go no.
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, I was just gonna say, um, I've had the privilege of playing some like pretty like strong women, luckily in my time. So I think that was something that I easily connected with, and the fact that Tim and I have like been friends for a while, like our chemistry kind of just came really naturally, and it was great to like become closer friends during that. So that was really nice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think just like the relationship between all four of us really came kind of naturally, just because we all just got along so well from the start of rehearsals.
Yeah, I think that was super evident in not only like the ski lodge scene, but like the office scenes, like in the first act. Like they kind of fired from the get go, and then you kind of also saw like Tim, your scene in Act Two, like the song scene with the where Spencer peels off in the motorcycle, and
Yeah,
because of the chemistry already in the first act, that scene in the second act really was powerful and it hit really great because you saw kind of everything falling apart, which is sad, but was great because of you all, because of how strong of actors you all are. Anything you took away from the show as you like all of your performers, including Paige, as you went on to other projects or other shows or are looking at going into projects? Anything you took from your character or took from the show itself as a lesson that could be shared with other people out there? Yeah, Spencer, he's jumping in.
For me, when it comes to like emotional scenes, like I had a very emotional scene in Act Two, and although like I had like blocking that I had to do, a lot of the beats weren't as preconceived going into the actual scene. So I would kind of like how I memorized the lines. I just memorized the lines. I didn't memorize how to say them. So then when I would run it, I would just run it like bare. So, and I thought that helped a lot with like monologues. If you're doing a monologue, doing it bare without any like preconceived beats or anything like that, unless it's really important.
Yeah.
And like emotional scene where you have to be very like volatile, like all over the place. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. Anyone else?
I think. Oh, go ahead, Paige.
No, you go. You do your.
I was just gonna say I don't know that it's not like it's necessarily anything I personally took away, but like something that I've noticed now is that I have been a lot more aware of like when I'm looking at like albums or something of seeing the actual credits of a song rather than like, oh, this artist sings it. Like now I'm actually looking like, oh, this person wrote it. Okay. Like I just have like a more cognizant awareness of like, I don't know, songwriters and sort of an appreciation for people behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
I think this show as a whole kind of hit me differently than other shows because it's real people. And so like it was hard, especially because they did such an incredible job with these characters to the point where like I had to be careful because I was starting to hate Spencer a little bit. I was like, I hate Jerry, I don't hate Spencer.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard because their character is tough. But
I haven't talked to Spencer since because I still don't.
I know it's.
Right.
I don't forgive him.
I'm like, how dare you? But this one, like the showing, especially that quartet at the end, showing those friendships and how the people that you rely on can be there for you, and all, like those are the people that like you have to look for in your life. The people that show up and continue to show up, and the people that you trust who keep burning that bridge with you, and you keep going back to them and letting them burn that bridge. Like recognizing those people in life, I feel like was really from this show. I started looking around going, wow, I've got some really great people around me. It's nice.
Well, and I mean that I think was like so perfectly like crystallized in that scene before that last song, like with everyone coming into the dressing room and then Spencer coming in. Like it was just, that so beautifully written how it's like everything for everyone has led up to that moment, and then her perform, like it was just, you all nailed it. It's great. No notes. Destiny, Hannah,
Sorry.
either one.
I'll go quick. So off of what Tim said, I do agree. I think a lot about songwriting now, and like wow, like I think about all the work they have to put into the music, and then they're kind of forgotten about and not credited. So I just have like this newfound appreciation And also off of what Paige said, I see what you mean. I definitely see what you mean.
Not
After
the hating Spencer part.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah,
like, what?
specifically.
maybe during the show, just, you know.
Spencer, I'm so
the
sorry.
best. It was the best birthday present ever, honestly. Having people boo me for 3 hours straight, that was great.
Right. Right.
It was awesome.
But I kind of just learned that, like, you never know where life is gonna take you. Like, Carole King didn't know where life was gonna take her, but she ended up doing amazing things and forming beautiful relationships, even though she went through a lot with her husband and her mother at some points, her career.
Her mother. We won't even talk about that.
No.
Hannah.
I think it kind of ties back to, this doesn't exactly relate to your question, but when you were talking about how you like
I don't
send
care.
me
Just
all
talk about whatever you want. I don't care.
the stuff that relates to like Barry and Cynthia, like Tim and I still send each other things all the time. And right after the show ended, I actually came back to Ohio, and the first thing that me and my boyfriend did was go to the Rock Hall, and that's where Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil like have their signatures in the Rock Hall.
Mhm.
So it was kind of nice. It's just like connecting with that part of history and learning something that you didn't know before, and having an appreciation for those people and what they contributed to the world, especially now that Cynthia is no longer with us. She passed right before the show happened, so it just kind of made me even closer to her as a character, for sure.
Absolutely. Listen, I already kept you all way longer than I said I would. Thank you for joining us tonight. You guys were amazing and beautiful, and you were amazing tonight. Destiny and Tim, thank you. Since you're local, they'll be performing tomorrow as we announce CTL season 48. So thank you for lending your voices to that performance tomorrow. Hannah and Spencer, get back to CTL soon, please. We miss you around. Paige, stage
Absolutely.
manage soon, please, because you were great.
I will.
I will. Oh, you will? Oh, we'll talk later. And
Okay, yeah.
all right. Thank you. If you haven't donated yet, Raise the Region again goes till tomorrow, Thursday, March 14th at midnight. You support shows just like Beautiful, which was a regional premiere for us, bringing live entertainment, getting people to commute from Ohio to do shows is what we're all about, as Hannah demonstrated so great last fall. Thank you for joining me tonight, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.